The winter 2015-16 season looks like it'll shape up to be an interesting one for the Kansas area, and I've taken a look at the various factors that will be going into what we see this winter. One of the more significant ones is the strong El Nino, which is actually the second strongest since they've been keeping record. During the typical strong El Nino, we'll see warmer than average water temperatures off the coast of South Africa and to the Central Pacific. Back home, this will usually promote a setup favoring warmer and drier conditions over the northern tier of the United States, with cooler and wetter conditions in the south. Another factor this winter is the Arctic Oscillation, or AO for short, which is in a positive phase for this winter. During a positive AO, we generally will experience warmer stretches because the bitter cold remains up north near the Arctic. A negative phase will bring prolonged stretches of very cold conditions to the eastern two-thirds of the U.S., which is what we experienced last year. With all of that said, the question of what this winter will bring still remains. Considering these factors and various others, I expect we'll lean towards warmer than average overall this winter for temperatures across the Sunflower State. And sure, maybe we'll be a little closer to average in western and southern portions of Kansas. This is not to say we will not have colder periods of time, but the periods of time that we do have colder weather will be less prolonged than in recent years. And overall, by the time March rolls around, the warmer days will outweigh the colder days. Coinciding with the warmer weather this winter will be above average precipitation across the central U.S. This is good news for us, as we all know just how dry it has been. We've seen some improvements on the drought since this past summer in Kansas, and I expect we will continue to see improving conditions over the next few months. While it's a good thing it's supposed to be wetter than average this winter, that's not so good when it gets cold enough for wintry precipitation to develop. Already in November, we have seen one nasty ice storm move through the state. That was back around Thanksgiving, and it lasted for nearly a week, bringing crippling ice accumulations to parts of Kansas and Oklahoma. Considering what we have already seen and how we expect to see the pattern shape up, there is a higher than average risk for ice storms for all of Kansas and much of our region. We'll likely see at least one, if not more, additional big ice storms this winter. Now I get to inform you on my favorite part of this forecast, the snowfall. I'm thinking we're going to be pretty busy from mid-November into the springtime months, with storm after storm thanks to an active storm track. The entire state should see at least average snowfall, with a good portion seeing above to well above average. The highest snowfall total should be out in northwest Kansas, in areas that have already seen as much as 20 inches of snow in November alone. Here you can see the average annual snowfall for the entire state. In Hays, we are in the 12 to 18 inch range, and our exact average is right around 18 inches per year. As for my official projection for Hays, I expect to see the Ellis County area to receive above average snowfall much like the rest of the state, with a grand total somewhere between 20 and 30 inches, give or take a few. In conclusion, this winter looks like it's going to shape up to be an interesting one, and it's going to be interesting to see how it exactly pans out, not only in Hays and Kansas, but across the entire country. As for snow days, as long as the storms time out right and in our favor, I think we will surely see a few here in Hays in January and February. To see my complete nationwide forecast for the upcoming winter, and to keep up with the latest weather headlines for the state of Kansas, head on over to my website at SiriusWX.net. Reporting from downtown Hays, this is Brooks Barber for 489 News.